Good morning, Year 11. I hope this message recorded on the 22nd of April 2020 finds you fit, well, and healthy. I'm acutely aware that since we last met in our final assembly together, and indeed when Mr Gill and I visited you in your classrooms to talk about the school closure as a result of the coronavirus, that your personal circumstances may have changed in some way. That indeed now either yourself, your friends, or your family have been impacted upon by COVID-19. If this is the case, please don't hesitate to let either myself, Mr Gill, or Miss Gange know. We are there for you. The school is open as a community, even though our school building is closed, and we very much want to continue to support you, offer advice and guidance where and when we can. With regards to the GCSEs, we now know much more, and I'm really pleased to see that Mr Gill has kept you well informed of what the DFE are saying, the Department for Education are saying with regards to schools and the process of awarding predicted grades. Please remember that each and every one of your teachers, myself, the senior leadership team, the governing body, we are all in this to make sure that we secure your life chances now and in the future so that you may lead happy and successful lives. This is the mantra to which we work by, have done and will do so in the future. We will be completely fair, ethical and balanced to the process and award grades that students deserve. They will not be dependent upon one single piece of evidence, that be it an assessment or a mock exam. It will be a direct triangulation of a variety of pieces of information and, of course, what we know about you in terms of where you are now and where we think you would have been when you came to sitting those exams in the summer of 2020. Please remember the golden rule of not contacting your teachers about your predicted grades. This is very, very important and key to us moving forwards. Just remember the principles of us being fair, balanced and ethical throughout. You have my absolute assurance that that is what we will be doing. In terms of colleges, I'm really pleased that Mr Patterson has been in touch with you with regards to college open days, some of the things that they're doing virtually online, and it's really important that you keep in touch with all of the information that the colleges are sending out. A lot of things are available on their social media platforms, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And my suggestion would be that you engage in those to make sure that you are fully up to date with what the colleges are saying, are doing with regards to next year. We, of course, are working very closely with each and every one of the colleges to make sure that you get onto the right course at the right college at the right time. Mr Gill, Miss Gange and Mr Patterson and Miss Phillips are working tirelessly to make sure that happens. Again, if you have any concerns regarding next steps and moving on to college, a lack of information, whatever it might be, just email one of those members of staff. And of course, you know that I am only one email away from communication with you. I'm really, really pleased that we've been able to put in a second date for the prom, which is looking now far more likely to go ahead than the one in June. The prom on this 22nd of October will be fully funded by the school. It will be our opportunity to say hello again, but of course to say a fond and warm farewell as you move on to college, as you move on to education and further training. As we have promised to fund that prom, we hope it will enable you to allocate your resources, your funding, your capital, your money elsewhere so that you can concentrate on what you'll be wearing and what you'll be arriving in, which I know is very important to you all. I will try to make sure that the prom is the very best prom that Cantell has ever held. It certainly will be the most important to us, to me, to our whole community. What am I most concerned about with regards to Year 11? Well, first and foremost, it is your safety. I want you to be safe, fit, and healthy, and that is our absolute priority. You must maintain a positive work-life balance. Make sure that you are doing things all of the time, that you're keeping yourself occupied, both in terms of leisure activities, but also in terms of work as well. Secondly, it's about routines, making sure that you do not lose those learning routines that you've developed over many, many years. That when you do move on to college, that you do move on to your next step of further education and training, that actually it's a seamless transition because you have continued with those learning routines. Staff will continue to provide you with the information, with the work, and we hope that you continue to engage with that so that, as I said before, it's an easier step to move on to the next stage. I know that many staff are now focusing on some of the A-level work, and we are working closely with sixth form colleges, as we are doing lower down when we're talking about Year 7 with the primary schools and looking at, okay, what is it that primary schools should be looking at to make sure that students are secondary ready? We're looking and working with sixth form colleges to make sure that you guys are absolutely sixth form ready when we eventually all go back to school and to work. So in closing this message to you, I want to say well done for everything that you have achieved so far. I and the staff are very proud of you and continue to be very proud of you. Remember to stay at home, to stay safe, to observe social distancing. Remember to maintain a positive work-life balance, maintain a positive routine going forward. I'm sure this won't be the last message that I send to you, but please stay safe.